race fans, welcome into the second race of 4 for the LSRL Xfinity Series presented by the Sweet Greek Grill, round of 12 here tonight in the Pocono Mountains for the Tricky Triangle 175. 12th race of 15 total, second in the round of 12. Race information is as follows: 2 laps qualifying to set the field for the 70-lap main event. Stage break is at lap 20. With the fuel capacity at 70%, the estimated fuel run is 22 to 25 laps. 4 total tire sets in the race, 1 starter for 5 total, 0 fast repairs, and 2 green-white checkers if needed. So let's go ahead and get right into the on-track action as qualifying is about to start. But right before we do that, let's go ahead and show you the race for the championship. You can see here we're taking the top 3 to the championship at Homestead in a couple of weeks. The 4th will be a wild card. Highest average finisher not in, I believe. Let me double check my statistics just real quick. But those are the points as they shake out. Randy Arms has finally taken over the lead from Tyler Justice, who had a bit of a setback last week, or 2 weeks ago, I should say. It still put him into 3rd, so he didn't lose too much time. But he is now squarely entrenched in a points battle. Schwartz, Goodwin, Tiller, Scarborough on the outside looking in. Casey Brown, Mazzella, Eric Shields, Kyle Ritchie. Need a lot of help over the next couple of weeks. We still have Talladega coming up, so don't put anything beyond the thought of, beyond your imagination, I should say. Is there's a lot that's going to be going on over the next couple of weeks. Excuse me, the wild card was to get into round 1. We're just taking the top 4 total in points. No wild card for the championship this year. So top 4 in points, so that would go to Jonathan Schwartz. 5 points over James Goodwin for that final transfer spot. Now that we've cleared that up, now we can go into qualifying. Laps are long enough that I don't think we have any timed laps just quite yet. I think the first man to cross the line should be Glenn Murphy Jr. Made 9 starts this season, 2 wins, and 9 top 5s. You heard that correctly. 100% top 5 ratio so far this season. So he crosses the line. It's actually Eric Shields to cross, 55.9. Lawton, 55.4. 55.5 for Glenn Murphy Jr., Randy Arms, and Michael Davis. First laps are being put down. The motor machine crossing the line. And let's go on board with the man that they've all been chasing for so long, Tyler Justice, as he's about to finish his first lap. You can tell, not really worrying about the speed. He's going to try and build that momentum for the second and final lap. And here he goes, crossing the line. Sets off into turn number 1. 190 all the way down to 145. Loose there on the exit, it appears. Sideways, loose into the wall. This lap will not count. He's going to have to reset, and I don't think he'll get a lap in. Landon Quisenberry crosses the line, his second lap. Improvement, but still stays 11th quickest. James Goodwin about to finish his first lap. He will have time for a second. Joshua Lawton, 55.42, the only man in the 55.4s. And Murphy Jr. in second. Michael Davis in 3rd. Goodwin crossing the line. The 11 goes 12th, 56.59. Just over a minute remaining. He will have time to complete this second lap and find some improvement. Casey Brown, Tyler Justice, Kyle Ritchie, and Wyatt Garrett electing not to set a lap time. Down, I guess, the back straightaway. Into the tunnel turn, way out of the groove there. Looking very loose throughout the entirety of the tunnel turn. Well held just to hang on to it. And he'll try and make up some time into turn number 3. Looks a little bit high on the entry. Off of turn 3, no turn 4 here. Some people say they have 5 turns though, so we'll find some disagreement among scholars. Second lap, 56.32. He does improve, but stays 12th quickest of all qualifiers. Small but mighty field here tonight. 16 drivers. 12 have elected to set a time. 4 have not. Joshua Lawton, looking to pick up his 3rd win of the season on a part-time schedule, has come on strong in the last couple of weeks. Shame he's not playoff eligible, but obviously part-time schedule, what can you do? But he's making the very most of his limited starts, and we are ready to rock and roll. His cars are gridding up. You hear there from Casey Brown. He was somehow in the session. I don't know why it says he's in the session if he's got no power. Got the remnants of Hurricane Beryl. I believe it was Beryl. That's rolling through the Midwest now, I believe. Hope everyone's staying safe from that. Remnants, but still can pack a punch. Hope people in Texas are doing all right as well. Your pick to win, Tyler Justice, is P13. Did not get a qualifying lap in. Kind of updated the stats a little bit. See, the starts have been added. 4 wins, 8 top 10s, and 11 starts for Tyler Justice. Lawton, your pole sitter, 2 wins. 3 top 5s in those 2 wins, obviously, in 6 starts only. Glenn Murphy Jr., a one-time winner this season at Atlanta, and 9 top 5s. That's not 5 starts, that should be 9. Let's go ahead and change that real quick. Can't have more top 5s than race starts. And there it is. See there at the top of your screen, the drivers highlighted in purple are your playoff contenders. Michael Davis, Lawton trying to spoil the party. 17 drivers obviously in the ticker. Casey Brown, obviously a playoff driver, but not able to compete tonight due to circumstances outside his control. So hopefully he can come back for the final 2 races, maybe shake up the field a little bit with a win potentially at the wild card Talladega. But 16 here tonight as a result from Joshua Lawton to Samuel Demien. Pick to win tonight. Give me Glenn Murphy Jr. in the 48 machine. I think 100% top 5 ratio in 9 starts. I think he'll pick up his 2nd win to go along with the Atlanta one. Can't count out Joshua Lawton, the only man in the 55 4s. Michael Davis going to try and play spoiler here tonight. Tiller needs a good finish. Shields, Scarabo, Mazzella. It's going to be an interesting one. Art picks Randy Arms. That's probably not going to work. We'll see him in the infield care center a little bit later. A very technical track here at Pocono. Definitely got to use the brakes over the long run. Draft will be an important factor, so trying to stay close to the person in front of you over the course of the long run. Don't burn your stuff up. And be there at the end, all keys to tonight's race. Pace car making that hard left-hand turn down to pit road. In just a moment, there it goes, and here we go. Joshua Lawton leads the field down through the Geico restart zone into the tricky triangle. 175 is underway. We can see these guys get spread out pretty much instantly. Schwartz taking a peek. Tyler Justice was thinking about it. We will be 3 wide heading off into turn number 1 for the very first time. But Schwartz backs out of it midway through the corner. Lawton leads. Glenn Murphy Jr. a slight bobble. Schwartz side by side with Michael Davis down the back straightaway. It'll be very important to take a solid line into the tunnel turn if you can help it. You'll lose a lot of momentum if you don't. And case in point there, look how much Ryan Tiller closed up on that 58. You're side by side through the tunnel turn, you will be held up hand over fist. Side by side between a couple of TTSL boys at the back. Wyatt Garrett, Kyle Ritchie, that's 78, charging hard, nearly 3 wide on the exit. They all survived the first lap with Lawton already 4 car lengths out in front. You can see the whole field in one shot there. Pretty cool camera work. Presented by TrackCams22.com is Quisenberry. Taking a peek to the inside of Eric Shields. Diving down through turn number 1 to take that spot away. Tony Scarborough right there. Draft will be hugely important. Quisenberry doesn't have it. Here we go. Side by side into the tunnel turn. Brave. Be yielding. I think the last second Shields saw that 75 come up. They both got bad exits, and here comes Scarborough to capitalize, along with James Goodwin. If you could run that second groove through 3, have a pretty good shot at rotating on corner exit, getting a run down this long front straightaway. If you have the momentum, you can easily pull down to the inside, make a pass. As Randy Arms closing in on Glenn Murphy Jr., both starting to pull away a little bit from Michael Davis. Schwartz, Tiller, and Ritchie. And here comes Tyler Justice from that 13th place starting position. You know he's got pace. Picks up another spot right there to the inside of the 41 of Mazzella. Only 70 laps, but at 55 to what'll be 56, 57 seconds at a time. You have a little bit of time to make your way through this field, especially only 16 cars. Race will be right around the hour mark, give or take probably hour 15. These guys to settle in. So 30 minutes trying to figure out what your car's got, and then the last 30 minutes trying to put yourself in position. Let's go on board with the 6 machine. It's Schwartz out of line, heading into turn number 2, ducks back in. Big send here from Tyler Justice. Able to carry speed, even though he made an attacking move going off into the tunnel turn. Got half a car length out in front. Now he's got a whole car length in front of Jonathan Schwartz. So 2 cars in 2 corners. Tyler Justice up to the 5th position. Try and close in on Michael Davis. Got a nice push almost down the front stretch from Schwartz. That'll help out a little bit. He closes in. Gap. 2 car lengths apiece between your top 3 as well. Top 2 have remained the same. Randy Arms and Michael Davis have switched. Tyler Justice up 8 spots in the early going, and you can just tell how important this draft is. Tucked up tight down this back straightaway. Kyle Ritchie trying to pick up a spot here. Way out of line, almost up into the wall. Tiller and Schwartz going at it through turn number 3. Tiller takes that spot away back up into 6th place where he started. Stage points, very important here. 16 cars, so definitely a solid chance for some guys to get some. Absolutely have to have them if we're in the playoffs. Currently, Kyle Ritchie, Goodwin, Shields not getting them. one into the wall there, a tad bit on the exit of turn number 1. Here comes Tyler Justice right up to the back bumper of Michael Davis through turn number 2. Wonder if he is willing to push this 57 down the front straightaway and try and make up some time. Michael Davis 1.8 seconds behind Randy Arms in 3rd. If they somehow work together, make up that time, they will be in the lead draft of your podium runners. Let's see how they navigate this. Tyler Justice caught this 57 machine. Hasn't really been able to get any closer than a car length and a half, though. 7 holding strong in that 4th position for the time being. Eric Shield down 4 since the start of this race. We saw a lot of that in one corner. It was side-by-side in the tunnel turn. Had to lift, get out of it. Killed his momentum, lost a couple of spots. Jonathan Schwartz down 2, Goodwin down 2. The only person to make up multiple positions is Tyler Justice, who's up 8. Randy gained a spot. Kevin Ritchie's up 1. Quisenberry up 1. Kyle Ritchie up 1. And Samuel Demien up 1. And now we got a battle for the race lead heading off into turn number 1. Side by side. Let's look on board from this 3rd place car. He's loving what he's seeing out in front. Guys trying to burn up their tires a little bit. Randy might be able to take advantage. 2.5 seconds on Tyler Justice, who was able to complete that pass for 4th. Let's take a look at how he did that. Randy into the wall there just a little bit. This is the move into turn number 1. Got a decent run off turn number 3. He's in the draft. Just had a better run all the way down the front stretch. And to the inside. Able to gas it up early. First back to the throttle. And comes up and takes it. Coming back live to the leaders, still going at it side by side. Which way will Randy go? This is the last lap. He takes him pretty wide into the tunnel turn, and then Tyler Justice is your winner. These guys not yielding an inch at the front, and here comes Randy to give an assist to that 48 machine. These are teammates. 8 and 48. They've been working the last couple of weeks against the 40 and the 6. 6 isn't up here right now. All this racing, that's going to bring him up here. You see the team play right here. 48 coming down. And give the draft to his teammate. Indy Arms going to try and get clear as they head off into turn number 1. Nothing separating your top 3. Tyler Justice only 1.8 seconds back now. And the team play being used again. Trying to find every last little bit of time in the stopwatch, and it's just enough for Randy to get clear into 2nd. Lawton going to fight back, though, into turn number 3. And Randy will have that slightly preferred line. He's able to pinch that 40 down. The 48 will not have to deviate from his line. He'll get the draft immediately off the exit of the corner. And that 40 has no choice but to fall back in line. Davis holding off Schwartz. Mazzella taking a peek to the inside of Ryan Tiller as we are halfway through our one and only stage. Crucial stage points on the line, and Tony Schiavo currently getting that last one. Kevin Ritchie stealing a playoff point, Michael Davis stealing a playoff point, and Joshua Lawton stealing, or stage points I should say, from specifically Goodwin, Shields, Ritchie, Quisenberry. 11 playoff drivers here tonight. One of them's missing out anyways. But since Tyler Justice, Joshua Lott is running so well, as we expect him to, as with Michael Davis and Kevin Ritchie. They're taking away stage points from a couple others as well. 23-41 going at it. 51 on board. Down the back straightaway into the tunnel turn, side by side. Always a risky adventure. You see the 51 backs out just a little bit early, trying to get a really good run on the corner exit. Still side by side ahead of him for that 7th position. Looking to clear here this time in this corner. It's a great run here, though. Actually shifting down into the 3rd gear and pulling to the inside of Ryan Tiller. Won't have any drafting help, though. His run was so good that he didn't really need the drafting help. He'll take the peak into turn number 1. Tyler Justice has now gotten around his teammate, Joshua Lawton. Similar move to how he got around Michael Davis. Strong run off 3. And the teammate wasn't going to give him that much of a hard time. 1.2 seconds away from Randy Arms in 2nd. Chasing that 57, taking a peek into turn number 3. Behind them, Ryan Tiller, Kevin Ritchie. Look at that, how low that 51 was up over the rumble strip. Trying to get that car to turn. 23 will carry the momentum down the front stretch, though. Schwartz looking to complete the pass this time by. Try to clear up in front of that 57, should be able to. Jonathan Schwartz back up into the top 5. Kevin Ritchie not going away from Ryan Tiller whatsoever. This will be his 3rd attempt in as many laps to complete this pass. Big send into the tunnel turn for both of these drivers. But it is the 51 that comes out on top. Tiller back down to 9th. This is 8th, 9th, and 10th. Kyle Ritchie on the outside looking in for a singular stage point. It's Tyler Justice closing in for a potential stage win, and it just shows you how much confidence he has in this car. He's able to nurse these tires. He's gained 10 positions, and he is still running quicker than our race leaders, so definitely able to manage his stuff exceptionally well. He is now 0.8 of a second off the back bumper of Randy Arms. And he'll have some drafting help. Increase his charge towards the front field. Now, this 3-car battle isn't going anywhere. Here comes Scarbo to the inside of the 23. 3 wide into turn number 3. Scarbo blinking out a little bit. 51 up top, 23 through the middle, 59 on the bottom. And that 51 going to be the beneficiary there. Had a great run. While the 2 guys underneath him were trying not to make contact. Kyle Ritchie closing in now. Encouraged by all the fighting he sees ahead of him. Less than 5 laps to go in the stage. And I think Glenn Murphy Jr. has it covered. Randy could face a little bit of pressure from Tyler Justice at the end. I don't think he'll have enough to get the leader as well. So Zella picking up the spot. Puts him in the 6th. Now back here. This 4-car battle rages on. If you're Kyle Richard, you'd love to pick up a stage point at the expense of one of your playoff rivals. He's blinking a little bit, so try and force the issue maybe a little bit. Can you get him uncomfortable at all? Long pond straightaway is what they call it, potentially. 76, taking a peek. Say that. And Randy Arms is now closing back in. Was a 10th.5 quicker last lap. He was the quickest driver on the racetrack, able to pull out over a second. Back to Tyler Justice. So Randy might have a little something here at the end of this stage. Came into tonight's race your points leader. I would love to follow up with another outstanding performance. Of course, we were off last week, but 2 weeks ago at Chicagoland, it was Joshua Lawton that won that race in a thriller. Randy Arms came home in second. Junior in third. Tyler Justice last week finished 14th after pit road speeding penalty. So he's trying to recover. He's still in the top 4, so nothing too worrisome for him just yet. Randy trying that unconventional line that we saw Kevin Ritchie using on the rumble strips. And 3 points separating your top 2. Randy at 1,055. Glenn Murphy Jr. 1,052. As they have 2 laps left to go on the stage. And Randy Arms is 3.5 car lengths back. Was half a tenth quicker on that last lap. Your teammates who know he'd love to have every point possible. Tyler Justice won't get there unless something happens between your top 2. In the battle for 4th, Jonathan Schwartz. Gotta like where he's at. In the 4th position, ahead of Goodwin, ahead of the guys that are underneath him that are taking a peek at him. Ryan Tiller, Scarbo, Quisenberry. So exactly what he needs to do. Mazzella getting good stage points here, and he needs them in a bad way. As we begin the white flag lap on stage 1, the only stage in the gap, car length and a half. As they head off into turn number 1. Kyle Ritchie defending that last stage point with his life. Ryan Tiller dropped back a couple of spots in the last couple of laps. The Arms did not get a great run off turn number 1, so Glenn Murphy Jr. should be safe. Ryan Tiller losing a handful of spots in the last couple of laps as Randy pushing. Don't think he had a shot at it, but he was really pushing that car. Has a decent-sized conk with the wall. Next in turn number 2, and almost threw away a second, but it'll be Glenn Murphy Jr., Randy Arms, Tyler Justice, your top 3 in stage 1. Schwartz, Mazzella, Lawton, Davis, Kevin Ritchie, Tony Scarbo, Kyle Ritchie, as the yellow flies here at Pocono for the first time tonight. So if you're Glenn Murphy Jr., Randy Justice, you're thrilled with that. Same thing with Schwartz. Mazzella takes away 5th. Heading into the tunnel turn. So he's got to be pretty pleased with that. He's got work to do to catch up overall, but if you're the 5th place guy, you give yourself a shot going into Martinsville and Talladega. Especially when guys like Quisenberry, Goodwin having their best night so far. We'll see what they learn in that first 20 laps. And while we pace around here and get ready to reset the running order, let's got a couple of quick words in from the incredible partners of the LSRL Xfinity Series. Was muted, but Glenn Murphy Jr. won the race off pit road. I think he'll win the... Oh, no, he won't, so he will go a lap down. So damage repairs gone wrong there for the 21. He's now the only car one lap down, and I don't sense that we're going to get a caution here tonight. With the way that first stage was, Kevin Ritchie, Wisenberry came back to top off. But no lapped cars under the first yellow, so no extra pace lap. So that was good. Lights are off on top of the pace car, and we're ready to get back racing here. Should only be a one-stopper from here on out. Lap 24 to almost 50-ish, and then 50 to the end. Pace car is off, and we're back underway. Great jump for that 48, can have that clean air. The side-by-side battle for second, but battle for not any longer, as Justice will dive off into turn number 1 and will attempt to clear, and he will clear. Randy back into third. And almost 3 wide down the back straightaway. Lawton through the middle. Mazzella trying to cover the spaces. Tight margins into the tunnel turn. Lawton not messing around. 40 in front of the 41. What a power move that was. A power slide almost. He gets it done back into the 5th position for your pole sitter. Kyle Ritchie got a great restart, up 7 spots. Michael Davis trying to recover. He's down 5. Tiller, Scarbo up in the mix there. Damien hoping a caution comes out. So hoping he's not in it. Now we'll see the true pace of Tyler Justice. It took him the whole first stage to get up to third. He used his tires up before he got to the top 2. Battle is Tiller. Definitely lose off of turn number 1. We'll lose a handful of spots. Tyler Justice has all the time in the world now. And he's right behind the leader, so doesn't have to push too hard. We'll see what kind of pace he has at the very end of this thing. Quisenberry and Garrett going at it. See, that 78 was trying to get back on the throttle early. And got bottled up behind that 75, who got bottled up behind the 21. Fastest lap of the race so far, 55.37 for Joshua Lawton, who was right on the tail. This 5-car train slowly starting to pull away from Mazzella. Biggest mover, obviously Tyler Justice, from 13th to 2nd. 2 car lengths behind Glenn Murphy Jr. And how often have we seen these top 3 go at it? More recently, now it's been this top 4 as Lawton has made more regular appearances. Schwartz right there, though. But this top 4, more than likely the winner's going to come from one of these 4. Take your picks. Mine's Glenn Murphy Jr. Arts is Randy Arms. That leaves Tyler Justice for Lawton. Both worthy candidates. It's mostly single file on the exit of turn number 1. It just shows you how important this draft effect is. Tucked up behind the car and have them pull you closer to them. The less effort you can expand trying to catch somebody, the better. The easier it is on your tires. And we'll see what the kind of the idea is on pit stops. With this draft being so important, will you actually try and pit with somebody? Value the undercut. It's a long track. A lot of time can be made up. So we'll see how these guys elect to play it out. Right now, obviously very early days since the restart. There's a lot of guys very close together. The top 10, separated by just 2.5 seconds. So any mistake now costs you dearly. Any mistake on pit road will harm you significantly. You had 20 laps to kind of feel it out. You got 50 to the end, a little bit less with the stage, but essentially 50 laps to position yourself with one pit stop in the middle of that. Keep an eye on if the fuel comes into play. Kevin Ritchie and Quisenberry both topped off on lap 23. Everybody else lap 22. 16 cars running, one of them a lap down. Samuel Domien got caught on pit road making repairs. And leave his box in time. All 16 still running since they dropped the green flag. Andy trying to close back in. Get back by Tyler Justice, who took that spot away from him on the restart. It was a smooth tunnel turn. Top three separated by exactly 3 car lengths. Notice any fuel saving, at least from Randy. Everybody else back here. Slide there on Will Quiet Garrett, trying to find a way around the lap car. Samuel Domien instead almost finds the outside wall, has to lift a little bit. Loses some time there. These top fours, they're trying slowly to pull away from those behind them. 6 tenths, now 7 tenths of a second back to Jonathan Schwartz. If you're Jonathan Schwartz, you're still feeling okay because you are the 4th best playoff running car at the moment. Joshua Lawton ahead of you, really not a factor in your mind at the moment. It comes down to you need 1 point though in the next 2 races. Then you start to treat him a little differently, but at the moment, looking good for Jonathan Schwartz. Schwartz is he's keeping pace with him. His last lap a 56.3, the leaders a 56.2. They are really working well together, this top 4. I mean, they are nose to tail drafting away. These guys back here trying to replicate that if they can, but just a little bit extra under the hood, or at least aerodynamically. Able to throttle up just that little bit more. Get the momentum. It's a momentum-based track with as long as these straightaways are. If you can get a good exit out of turn number 3, it sets you up all the way down to turn number 1. You get a good exit out of turn number 1, it sets you up all the way for turn number 2. So center off to maximize your run. As everything has held service, no passes since lap 29. With lap number 33, everyone just biding their time. Everybody's close to one another, for the most part. That pass. Kevin Ritchie on James Goodwin, and also it. Just kidding. It was just Randy blinking out and technically giving 3rd place to Lawton for the time being. Back here, we just saw this battle. I think it was. Kevin Ritchie does maintain that spot. With the margins Less than a car length between your top two. Tyler Justice has been there. And he's going to give a shot to the 48. Andy right behind Tyler Justice. He's in a speed zone sandwich. I don't know how smart that was. But that was a heck of a shot that 6 just gave that 48. And I think it's a little early for that. So we are going to be halfway this time by. Plenty of time left in this race. It's 21 machine. Big problems. Day is officially done. We'll have to tow. It should be far enough off the racetrack. No caution. And looks like that was just a creative way to end his day. Yeah, he's done. Give it 15 remaining. I just want to see this. I mean, he knew he was a lap down. I'm pretty sure he knew he wasn't going to get a caution. That's how his day ends, and I think he's still sitting there. And he tows to pit road. No right front tire, engine blown. Day officially over 15 running, all on the lead lap. That's an interesting way to end that, and it's interesting because Sam Demian, first season here, kind of learning a lot logging laps. Last season, almost a bona fide championship contender. This season's just a little bit more out there. Hasn't run all the races, obviously missed out on some races, but doesn't quite have the same pace that we expect. We've seen from him on Monday and Tuesday nights. Be a little frustration there potentially for that 21 machine. There's even that front 4 slowly starting to pull away from Lawton to make it a potential front 3. Let's crank it up here for the first time tonight. We're live on YJ Media. Pass for the race leader to that crank it up segment we saw there. Tyler Justice, great run off 3 on the last lap, pulled even and slightly ahead of that 48 side by side through the tunnel turn, and finally completed the pass on the exit of turn number 3 and leads for the first time tonight. We'll see if he can pull away now, but he's got the clean air he's desired for so long. 31 laps to go, and he takes the stripe 5 to 8 laps away from the final fuel window opening. We shall see what the strategy will be like. Right now, 1.5, well, 1.2-ish to 1.6 seconds slower than their best laps, depending on who they are. So there is significant fall off here tonight. 31 laps to go. Wyatt Garrett had an issue on the last lap. Oh, he's got big problems. Huge problems, in fact. There we go. It's 78 machine. He already had damage. Huge right side damage. And that thing is almost like a mechanical failure with how that thing turned back to the right. But nevertheless, all the way down here and just toast to pit road. I imagine his night is done as well. So 14 cars on the lead lap, all running. 75 with some left rear damage, interestingly enough. It is becoming a top 3 breakaway as Lawton 0.8 of a second behind Randy. And Bozzella, Shorts, Kyle Ritchie. He's found a little bit more speed in the second half of this race. Sits 7th, top 5 well within his sights. It's a tale of two brothers. Kevin Ritchie was inside the top 10 in that first stage and dropped out of it. Kyle Ritchie was right at the tail end of this top 10 in the stage and took a couple more spots in it, trying to pick up one more here to 6th. He'll do so. Nice move there to turn number 1. Shorts taking a peek to the inside, thinking about trying to get that 6th position back, and top 3 will be becoming a top 2 here very soon as Randy's starting to lose a little bit of ground. Glenn Murphy Jr., he did lose the lead, but has not lost touch. With that, race leader Tyler Justice Randy almost into the wall again. Let's take a look here at the move Bozzella made on Shorts. And that set up the move for Kyle Ritchie to get by a lap later. Cost Shorts just a little bit of time there. Closest battle on track is for the race lead. Randy did lose a bunch of time there, exiting turn number 3. Slight contact with the outside wall. Now he's 7/10 behind. So we got a 2-car race on our hands at the moment. Next closest battle, Michael Davis, 58, 57. We've seen these guys around each other a lot this season. Even though Michael Davis only made 4 starts, but he's got top 10s in 3 of them. Looking to make it 4 in 5 here tonight. Other battles, Kyle Ritchie trying to track down Bozzella. Bozzella trying to chase after Lawton. Kevin Ritchie and Tiller within a second. Michael Davis obviously chasing Shorts. We just showed you that one. Scarbo a second behind him. And obviously the battle for the race lead on board here with Glenn Murphy Jr. I think a 1-lap undercut here would do wonders if you're Glenn Murphy Jr. You just have to push super hard for 2 corners. The tunnel turn, turn 3. And you can save that 1-lap difference in tires. Try and get yourself a second plus ahead. Michael Davis and Shorts going back and forth, back and forth. Kyle Ritchie has caught Bozzella. 76 taking a peek to the inside, down the front straightaway. Kyle Ritchie trying to get up into the top 5. He has gotten quicker and quicker and quicker as the race has gone on. And has cracked the top 5 for the first time here this evening. Like here, my shifter fell off my wheel stand up shifting in turn 1. Well, that would definitely explain the complete loss of the control. Kevin Ritchie did catch Ryan Tiller, so all those battles we told you about, they just all happened. Let's Kevin Ritchie back up into the top 10. Now, Kyle Ritchie setting off after Joshua Lawton. Top 3, a 57.19, a 57.2, 57.2, a 57.7 for Lawton. Kyle Ritchie, a 57.3. So this 76 has found some speed. .25 laps to go before this time by field window will open any lap now. We'll see who pulls the trigger first, as Randy Arms has brought himself back into this battle. Went a 1/10.5 quicker than both of the top 2, from 0.8 of a second down to 0.3 of a second off of his teammate's back bumper. Did a nice job putting himself back in contention. Kyle Ritchie continuing to close in, and here comes Kevin Ritchie. Don't speed, it's pretty early. It's Goodwin, Shields all following in. Have nothing to lose. Might as well come in a couple laps early, see if you can catch a caution, something. So they all make it into their box. Obviously Wyatt Garrett's been there. Don't overshoot your box. Looks like good for everybody. Don't speed. And down and away, Kevin Ritchie speeding on the entry. James Goodwin and Eric Shields, all good there. Some free spots for both of them. Kevin Ritchie pretty much resigned to 14th now. Nothing shorts. One of the front runners in is Ryan Tiller. All out of shape there on the entry. Trying to follow him in. Let's take a look at this. Just coming way back to the right. Quisenberry's in behind them. Big damage. The left rear, interestingly enough. I'll have to ask him about how that happened. And yeah, and then I think we just, he's blinking, but shorts down and away, 15-1, Tiller 15 flat, did Quisenberry. We'll see here in just a second how his stop was, if he sped on the entry. As here comes the leaders. And everybody else. So nobody wasting any time. It all looked fairly clean, so no real advantage for anybody here. Lawton will have that first pit stall. Got to work through a little bit of traffic. Don't miss your box. And we'll see who gets off first. There goes Tyler Justice. Murphy Jr. Randy Arms. Kyle Ritchie will jump. Mazzella gonna jump. But Tyler Justice got what he needed, and that's a lead over a second. As everybody has completed their stops. Only 3 laps difference. And those early stops from Goodwin Shield didn't really do a whole lot. So race back on at the front. Kyle Ritchie, excuse me. Trying to pull away. 50.55 pit lane time for Tyler Justice. 51.13. Data is broken for Randy Arms, unfortunately. But I have to imagine it's pretty similar. Murphy Jr.'s pit stop was a 15.1 to a 14.62 for Tyler Justice, so that's where about half of that new margin came from. Let's see if these two can work together to track down that 6th machine. No holding back now, under 25 to go. Daniel Demian, Wyatt Garrett, and for all intents and purposes, Kevin Ritchie out of the race. 13 cars running, all on the lead lap. Closest battle between 2nd and 3rd teammates, then 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, all going at it. And then Ryan Tiller, James Goodwin, about 0.6 of a second, separating these guys. 20 laps to go. In the first lap, after the outlap, Tyler Justice a 10th quicker. Joshua Lawton, though, just ran a 55.1. 2/10 quicker than anybody has run so far this evening, and that'll be hard to beat. Let's see if these two can tandem their way. Joshua Lawton not a factor at the moment, so Tyler Justice will be kind of doing a 1v2 here. And they tandem themselves. They've gotten a couple of tenths closer on this lap. It was 1.3. At the start of this lap, it'll be about a second. If they can just get a couple tenths, they'll be in the draft and have a head of momentum. Chasing after that 6th machine. 55.7 for Tyler Justice, a 55.3. So yeah, they did gain about 0.4 of a second there. Another 10 through 1. Randy Arms does lose a little bit, but we would have pushed him as much with Ben Murphy Jr. barely in the lead draft of Tyler Justice. Will be dragged along. So we start to battle back here. Lawton covering off Kyle Ritchie, also trying to pass Jonathan Schwartz at the same time. Slides up right in front of that 58. 58 will tuck back into line for now. We'll see if he sends him off into 3. Doesn't elect to do so. Oh, that's just kidding. Just kidding. He moved him up the lane there for sure. Oh, that's going to be more problems. 58 nearly took out the 40. For Kyle Ritchie, you got to be careful. Same thing with Mazzella. All 3 of these guys directly behind this 40 have championship implications on the line if something were to happen. Even Michael Davis back there could easily get collected. How about this, though? Half a second between your leaders, so there's a lot going on. We potentially see your first caution that's not the stage here. In the latter part of this race, coming to 17 laps to go. Catching him's one thing, passing him is always another. So they're obviously in the draft, but once they get right up behind him, do they have a move to make? Either in turns 1, 2, or 3. We will find out shortly as they are there. Another 10th quicker on that lap. And now, the closer and closer that you get, the more that draft helps you. You're now 0.5 of a second behind. Draft's a little bit more powerful than it was at 0.8 of a second. Eventually, you get all the way back up to the back bumper, and you're pushing that 6 around the racetrack. Things have somewhat cooled off here between 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. Here's the battle for 6 as Mazzella trying to go to the inside of that 76. Very hard to make a pass on the low line through turn 3. Half a tenth quicker that lap for Glenn Murphy Jr. Just ever so slightly closing in. With 16 laps to go, even that slow margin, half a tenth of a second, would easily get him there and past. Board through the tunnel turn. Nearly identical lines. Position swapping back here all the time. Kyle Ritchie was battling with Mazzella. Now he gets around Shorts. Shorts fighting right back to the inside. Mazzella going to let them settle their differences. Which lane does he elect to go with? Tuck in behind his teammate, try and give him a nice push down the front stretch. Got to time it pretty good though. We'll have Shorts fighting back into turn number 1. Big send there from that 58. Joshua Lawton using this opportunity to escape. His last lap was pretty much even between your top 3. 55.90 exactly on the last lap. That's the thing, right? When you get to about this 3.5 tenths, you start to feel that dirty air a little bit. You have to find a way to break through on the same exact tires. Glenn Murphy Jr. won the stage. As the engine finally expired on one of these 2 cars that have just been sat in pit road. We heard that. Another half a tenth here. Glenn Murphy Jr. found a little bit on that lap. 56.17, 56.06. Glenn Murphy Jr. The good thing for these guys, they don't necessarily have to kill each other for this race win. Obviously, they want to win. Every single but one of these guys here has won. I'd love to add another one. It'd be Tyler Justice 5th, Glenn Murphy Jr. 2nd, and Randy Arms 3rd. But they are all sitting pretty points-wise. And I don't think they would want to throw that away. With Martinsville and Talladega, the 2 races left in this round of 12. You say, all right, well, I can't get around him. For even speed, he just got track position, so be it. I'll take the 2nd. Have a good finish at Martinsville and not even have to worry about Talladega. Guys back here, though, every point matters. You're probably going to be a little bit more willing to use the bumper. 190 miles an hour going off into turn number 1. Maybe force somebody up the hill. Gap now exactly 3 car lengths. 56.25 last lap for Tyler Justice. 56.22, not even half a tenth. We measure progress now in centimeters, inches maybe for Glenn Murphy Jr. as he's just kind of stuck. Probably maybe another 100th of a second here this lap. Crosses the line, Tyler Justice a 56.40, a 56.36 for Glenn Murphy Jr. What you don't want to do with Martinsville next week is make somebody mad at you. I think these 3 will race each other with respect. They've been that way pretty much all season. Same thing back here. You don't necessarily want to make a rival at Martinsville and say, all right, well, it robbed me of a good points day. I needed it. I'm on the outside looking in. I have nothing to lose. I'm just going to drive right through you. But now, here we go. He found a little bit here, probably a tenth on this lap. Because now it is a car length and a half. Between your top 2, Randy Arms, another 2 car lengths back. Essentially 4 car lengths between your top 3. Tyler Justice able to escape a little bit off of 3. Overall, Glenn Murphy Jr. 7/100ths quicker on that lap. Closes into a car length and a half as they enter turn number 1. 11 laps to go. And if you're Glenn Murphy Jr., you would love for Randy to somehow find even more pace, find a 10th, somehow, I know they're all pretty much dead even, but if Randy had anything left, find it on the exit to 3 and push your teammate. Give him that little extra boost. So Tyler Justice able to escape on this lap a little bit. Yeah. From a car length and a half to 3 car lengths. Randy pretty much doing what I said, pushing him down the front stretch. If Randy's a little bit quicker, does he try and make the call? Say, hey, maybe I can catch him. I had some long run speed at the end of the stage. One nearly caught you. Still think it's a little bit too early. Give it 5 more laps, and then Murphy Jr. says, all right, I'm stuck. You go get him. Worst case scenario, I finished 3rd. Or maybe you guys wreck each other trying to go for the win. Is Randy. Nearly lost it all right there. Only lost about 1/10 of a second. And on this lap, Glenn Murphy Jr. closes right back up to a car length and a half behind. Because he is now, that's pretty much a car length now, not even a car length and a half. He is there. Tyler Justice is going to go down and block Glenn Murphy Jr. in the lead draft. Car length, 0.09 of a second behind him. Less than a car length. Justice blocking all over the place. No move yet. Still a long way to go. 9 laps around Pocono. Gonna have to be perfect laps from Tyler Justice if he wants to pick up his 5th win of the season. He started 13th, hit the wall in qualifying. Took him the whole first stage even to get up to 3rd. Once he had that track position, took him a handful of laps since the restart, and he has not looked back since. Andy starting to fall off just a tad bit. .58 getting through. On that 57, trying to clear up. Kyle Ritchie has caught Lawton. This will be the best 4th. Scarabo kind of resigned to 10th. Tiller stuck in 10th. The 11 machine runs 11th. Eric Shields, Quisenberry kind of doing their own thing. That's where they will finish. Unless we get a caution. Very possible with how hard these guys are racing. 57, 58, leaning on each other a little bit. Lawton was very aggressive early, not on Kyle Ritchie, but on Mazzella. So we'll see how he treats Kyle Ritchie. 8 laps to go, coming to 7. Gap unchanged between the top 2. Randy dropping out of it for now. He's giving all the help he can for the time being. It's going to have to be into turn number 1. Glenn Murphy Jr. is going to have to somehow find a couple of hundredths of extra speed off of turn number 3. And he's going to have to carry that momentum all the way down the front stretch. Or he's either going to have to find it off of turn number 1. He's not going to make the move going into 3. It has to be on the exit of 3 or the exit of 1. Turn 2 is pretty much irrelevant. He has to somehow complete the pass before the tunnel turn, have him fully cleared. He can go side by side into 1. He's going to have a heck of a run out of 3 to get that move done. Coming to 6 laps to go. Glenn Murphy Jr., I mean, he's just... What more can you do? Kyle Ritchie was able to clear Lawton. Look at how he did that. A little bit of action there. Out of turn number 2 for a handful of guys. Lawton into the wall. Mazzella. 76 pounces. Look at that, Kyle Ritchie up 10 spots into fourth. Did not have any pace in the first stage. I think he'll be the first to tell you that. But has come alive since the restart. On lap 24. Until the end, he's going to pick up valuable points that puts him in striking distance, but with Martinsville and Talladega coming up. Shorts dropping back a little bit. Something happens. Glenn Murphy Jr. still a car length and a half, no closer. Maybe a car length at times, but these guys are locked at the hip together in terms of race pace. If it was the other way around, I think it'd be the exact same result. If you flip these cars, I don't think Tyler Justice would be able to get around. It's not pulling away, so if he was behind him, he wouldn't pass him. It's just a track position game. It will take a bobble or a problem for Tyler Justice, I think. I'm that confident with 4 laps to go. I mean, you've been that close that many laps. You surely would have tried to make the move by now. Just stuck in the dirty air. It's not by choice, that's for sure. Still a lot to be decided back here. Just outside of the top 5. Even in the top 5. If Michael Davis can find a way around, but don't discount Mazzella and Schwartz to make a move. With 3 laps to go. Glenn Murphy Jr. might not want to hear it, but he's made 9 starts before tonight, picked up 9 top 5s, won the win at Atlanta, as he is now starting to fall back 3 car lengths. Can pretty much close the book on this one, I think. Tonight, obviously, his 10th start and what will be his 10th top 5. Tyler Justice has made 11 starts and has 8 top 10s. 6 top 5s. So, he's got those wins to back him up. So, who do you favor? A championship fight, but hold everything. Yellow is out. They all wrecked. Just like we thought they could. Green, white, checkered. Didn't think I'd see that, and Lawton's car is destroyed. And I mean literally, hold everything. What in the world happened here? Back this up. The exit of turn number 1, Davis. What? Oh, man. That. Oh, no. That's an odd one. I'll be honest with that. So let's see here. Davis coming up. 40 nearly into the wall. He's coming down, but the 57's coming up. They net code ever so slightly. I mean, there's going to be contact anyways, but the slightest bit of net code. Then you're saying, all right, we all save it. But why? So 2 questions. Why is the 40 that out of control? But he's coming down, way down. 57 is rejoining the track. 57... So I saw it wrong there. So the 40, he's loose. All right, so he... Yeah, so the 41 reacts because he sees Lawton out of control. So he is going to move way down because he sees Lawton slow, and Lawton is coming down. Michael Davis is below the apron. Obviously wants to rejoin the track, but I don't think he realizes that 41 has a head of steam as these guys are wrecking. And it's all 3 of them. All killed, too. I mean, that's over for all of them. Jonathan Schwartz nearly caught up in that. That 41 is just coming back up the track. But so for Mazzella and Michael Davis, big damage. Even Lawton, I mean, they're all 3 killed. Here's your pole sitter. Does anyone dare take 2 tires? I don't know. It's green-white checkered. It's going to be Tyler Justice winning the race off of pit road. If you have any damage, you can obviously get that fixed. And there's 7 cars that have had regular pit stop times. Everyone had damage behind them. Green, white, checkered attempt, 1 of 2. Mazzella, Quisenberry, a ton of damage on the left rear, we've said a couple times, but even he will be able to move up into the top 10 now. But Mazzella, Lawton, Davis, all heavily damaged. Lawton looks to have the worst of it. Mazzella, all his damage is in the rear. Michael Davis looks like he's got a lot on the front, so I'd rather be Mazzella. Kevin Ritchie finally calls it quits, but Mike Garrett has been there the whole time. High drama right at the end, and yeah, it looks like Goodwin coming in probably has more damage that he wants to get fixed. That's the only reason I can imagine he'll give up 2 spots for nothing. But Pocono's a huge racetrack, especially under caution, so you will have time to get all that damage fixed. And if you're Randy Arms, if you're Kyle Ritchie, you have a shot. How aggressive do you want to take it? Mazzella was the first of the 3 out. Lawton, Davis still heavily damaged. Goodwin makes it back out. Only 6 seconds, so maybe he thinks there's a fuel. I don't know. Maybe he forgot to take fuel or something. I'm really not sure about that. Maybe he had like 1 second he left too early. Just wanted to make. I'm not sure, but nevertheless, we will have for the first attempt at a green-white checkered 11 cars running and on the lead lap. It's green, and then white, then checkered. So you gotta think the 6 having control gets a great jump and then blocks for his life because everyone behind him is going to be squabbling over who wants to go chase after him. We are about to find out. Lights right on top of the pace car. Overtime. Green-white checkered attempt. 1 of 2. Pace car makes the hard left-hand turn down pit road. Tyler Justice leads us through the Geico restart zone. We're back underway, and it's a great jump. Murphy Jr. will be clear in second. And Justice just trying to get out of Dodge. Murphy Jr. not about as clear of an arc as you could hope for in that situation, but don't know if he'll have enough time to run him down. 2.5 car lengths. Everyone's squabbling. New life for Quisenberry, Eric Shields, Tiller. Going on 2 car lengths. I mean, it is foot to the floor, 100% fresh tires for 2 laps. You don't have to worry about burning anything off. It'll be good for 2 qualifying laps. Tyler Justice moves to 3 car lengths ahead. Can they get off a 3? Power to the front stretch and to the finish line. They'll be able to do so. White flag, race is official. It looks like we're at Indy. We're all snaking, trying to break the draft. How much that actually works, I'm not sure when it's that aggressive in a stock car. But 2.5 car lengths clear. Glenn Murphy Jr. not a threat at the moment. More under threat from Randy Arms. Tyler Justice trying to break the draft down the back straightaway as well. Through the tunnel turn. Glenn Murphy Jr. is going to send it in hot, obviously. But he's not going to get there. Through 3 for the final time. Tyler Justice. All the way back from 13th, gained 12 spots. Survived a green-white checkered attempt. And he will pick up his 5th win of the season here at Pocono. Glenn Murphy Jr., Randy Arms, Richie, Schwartz, Scarabo, Tiller, Quisenberry, Shields, Goodwin, Mazzella, Lawton, and Davis never got back going. Kevin, Richie, Wyatt, Garrett, Samuel Demien, the race order. And for good measure, Tyler Justice set the fastest lap of the race on the last lap. The only man to get into the 54-second bracket. I literally told you he qualified 13th. You said, where is he? And then I proceeded to tell you he was 13th. Great finishes in the end for Scarabo, Tiller, Quisenberry, Shields. They were all staring at potentially not even a top 10 at times, so they'll take what they could get with 2 races left. Let them get back around to the front stretch. Long cool down lap. We'll let them get a couple burnouts in, pictures if they need it. And we'll pull them up for some interviews. Oh, he did. He pulled an Alex Bowman. He wrecked in the burnout. Had a lot of room, but not that much. Second and third parked. Geico restart zone as they're watching their championship rival. Problems 2 weeks ago at Chicagoland, a rare mistake, but right back the next week with a win is he's actually cheating. He caved the left rear end. Got to pass inspection somehow. So I'm sure they'll take a close look at that. He's burning it down here in the Pocono Mountains. But yeah, that's if you're Glenn Murphy Jr. or Randy Arms watching this, you're like, all right, mistakes last week, comes back and immediately wins again, 5th win of the season, knowing he's not going away. You'll have to race him all the way up into Homestead, and he'll park it right in the triangle, and we'll go ahead and get him in. Here with your race winner, Tyler Justice, his 5th win in his 12th start this season here at Pocono. Had to work for it, started 13th, didn't get a qualifying lap in, worked his way up carefully through that first stage, and after that, able to show off the long run pace and take the lead after a handful of laps, and able to control the race from there pretty much.
Yeah, I felt like we managed the runs pretty well tonight. I mean, like you said, we started in the back, and I was actually surprised with how quick we were able to get up to the top 3 or 4 there. And then once we got there, I kind of had used my stuff up, so kind of settled in for 3rd in the stage and came off. Managed a decent pace there to start after the stage break, and was able to get around Glenn there right before pit stops. I didn't like how how we were having to shift like the last 10 laps of the run, because even if you managed your run well, when you started shifting, it killed the tires. I mean, it eats them up when you start shifting, but that's what you had to do because you get such a pull coming off the corner. So I feel like we managed it well, though. I mean, got in front of Glenn there before the pit stops, had a decent pit stop, and had a decent gap coming out of the pits, and was just trying to manage the pace, like I said, and even saved a little bit, let him get to my bumper, and then I started to pick up the pace a little bit, and just when we started downshifting, it kind of killed the tires, and we went back to even there, and we were just kind of drafting off each other there. So caution ended up coming out. Glad nobody tried to stay out there and try to make something happen, and was able to race to the finish there and got a good jump on the restart in the box there. So fun race. I love this racetrack. It's one of my favorites, probably top five. And had a good one. So glad to pick up another win. Going to the next round. Actually, I'm not sure how the playoffs work, but we should be pretty good on points here. So
Absolutely. Was there a thought of two tires, knowing it's a green white check with only two laps, or was it the tires tonight? Was it guaranteed four tires there?
not for me. I mean, it was guaranteed for, especially. I mean, the car count. I was trying to. It wasn't, a whole lot of people. I mean, we had a decent amount of people in here, but only 10 or 11 on lead lap. So I felt like even if a couple guys took two tires and we started fourth, I mean, 2 laps at Pocono is a long way around, even though it is just a green white checkered. If it was at Chicago or something, you may be at a little bit of disadvantage. But with as long as this track is, and the amount of speed difference on the straightaways and in the corners was so great, I figured even if we came out fourth on four tires, I feel like we could have got two tires easily. Plus, when you're starting on two tires and cold tires, it's going to be a lot looser. So them guys would have had trouble keeping the grip underneath it anyway. So four tires all the way. Didn't ever question it. Just was hoping not a lot of people stayed out there.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on a well managed victory, your fifth of the season, and we'll let you get any shout outs in if you have any.
Yeah, shout out to Legacy Esports as always, Reaper Speed Labs. Shout out to everybody in the league. Shout out Josh, my teammate. He had a little bit of trouble tonight, but he was quick as well. Yeah, shout out everybody in the league, and thank you guys for broadcasting.
Absolutely. Appreciate the kind words. We'll see you back here next week in Martinsville.
All right, we'll see you.
Here with your runner-up again tonight, Glenn Murphy Jr. Don't know how many times I've said that this season, but it feels like a lot. Your 10th start of the season, your 10th top five. So the incredible consistency continues.
Yeah, wish we could turn a couple of them into wins. I've never really. This isn't a really great track for me historically. I don't know. Typically overdrive the corners a little bit here, but I felt like we had pretty good speed tonight. It just the part that sucked is that first run when Tyler got the lead away from me is right about the time we started shifting, and I wasn't shifting the whole race. I didn't try shifting in practice. I was trying to learn. He almost turned me around. It was my fault. I got a little bit downshifted a little early and kicked the car sideways. He got in the back of me, and it was that run where I was just like, felt like I was going to be driving too hard. So I didn't really contest him too much. And once he got by me, it just was too tough with the dirty air to get back by.
Yeah, we've said it a couple times this season. Various tracks, the dirty air plays a big factor, and I even mentioned on the broadcast while it was happening. Had the roles been reversed and he was stuck behind you with how quick you guys are, probably would have been the same story. He just gets right up to the back bumper, but not able to make a move unless he really forces the issue.
Yeah, if I could have learned a little bit quicker on shifting there. I did. I felt like we'd have been in a pretty good spot. There was right. It's unfortunate part is I tried to work him over for 40 laps, and the lap that the caution came out there at the end, he got in the fence a little bit off of two. I was gonna have a pretty good run. I probably would have got alongside him into three. I mean, it's hard telling what would have happened from there, but it was gonna be a fun finish there. I hated to see the yellow because I just knew that all three or four of us up front there had so much speed. It was gonna be almost impossible hot lapping to get back by somebody. But either way, second place. I feel like it's every race I've run this year, but. Either way, we'll take the seconds, over the alternative. I'd rather finish third than finish second, but at the end of the day, they're keep stacking them up and then give yourself a chance at Homestead.
Absolutely. Puts you in a good points position, especially with Talladega coming up, so eases the worries there a little bit. Any thoughts quickly on two tires for that green white checker? I know Pocono's a long track, but any thoughts on it?
No, I think Michael had asked about it. I just thought that 1 and 3 are just such long corners. If I would have been on two, he would have blew the doors off, and I felt the same thing. I thought there was gonna be a lot more people that were gonna try it. But I kind of told Randy the same thing. I just felt like we would have enough speed, just take it to the top in either corner, and you just be able to keep the momentum up. But I never thought as soon as the yellow came out, I was taking four no matter what anybody did. So it's just the way it fell at night.
Absolutely. I appreciate the insight. Congratulations again on another podium finish, and we'll just get any shout outs in if you have any.
Yeah, just give a shout out to you guys. I appreciate you putting this on, and I'll catch you guys next week.
Alrighty, looking forward to it. And here with your third place finisher tonight, Randy Arms. Very consistent all race long, right in that top 3 to 5 battle. Even with the leaders, the first three at times. And another strong finish, third place here. Came in the points leader, third place, looking good with 2 races left in the round of 12.
Yeah, we had a pretty good run. Felt like we probably had about a third place car about all race. Maybe if we could have got some clean air, maybe we could have been a little better. Felt like I was behind Glenn about the whole race. and kind of burn up my right front there towards the end of the run. I think just from dirty air. That's kind of what happened there at the end. And like say messed up the tunnel turn, just couldn't get back to him. But yeah, say felt pretty good going into the night. It's just a track that I usually run pretty good at. So came out with a third after having the points lead. Might still have it. I'm not sure. I forget how big a lead I had there before. So yeah, should be looking pretty good. Hopefully try to get a big enough gap before Talladega so it makes that race a lot less stressful.
Absolutely. Any thoughts quickly on two tires on that green white checkered pit stop?
It got bounced around for about 5 seconds and returned that. No, we didn't figure it would turn very well for 2 laps. Track's just too big. If it was, a track that doesn't have long, straightaways, you might have a chance, but you get tight one time coming out of 3 and you're pretty much done. So yeah, it to us felt like a pretty easy call to take, 4. Thought maybe a few people might take 2 there in the back just to see what would happen, but they must have the same thought process as we did.
You guys, especially the top 3, all fast and all had the same strategy call there at the end. No surprise, but congratulations again on another strong result. And we'll just get any shout outs in if you have any.
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone that showed up tonight. We're getting towards the end of the season. Had a holiday off, so sometimes it's hard, in the middle of the summer for for people to show up. But so I just want to thank everyone that is still showing up every week. Hopefully, we can have some good turnouts there for the end of the season, and say thank you for say everything you do every week. Looked like you might have been a one-man band tonight.
Art's on vacation. He took a vacation. What kind of slackers am I working with?
Should look at last week when we was off. What kind of priorities is that?
Took a vacation all day.
But yeah, I just want to thank you for everything you do, and yeah.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations again on the strong finish, and we'll see you next week in Martinsville.
All right, thank you.
Here with the pole sitter Joshua Lawton. Quick all night before getting caught up in an incident right at the end of the race. Joshua, your thoughts on what happened there down the back straightaway?
I watched it again. It was just net code, just hard racing, and then thought we were all going to save it, and then I don't know who it was, Michael Davis. I think he came back up there, and Jonathan just happened to be there. I think it was Jonathan, and turned him back into me, and then all hell broke loose.
All right, I think Mazzella, you guys kind of got a little squirrely with the net code. He was trying to shoot the middle, and Davis come back up. So just one of those, I guess, racing deals with 2 laps to go at that point.
Yeah, we had good 1 lap speed. Just our long run speed wasn't there tonight, so I know what I did wrong, and make sure I don't do it next time.
Absolutely, but appreciate the insight. Sorry about the incident tonight, but real quick when you had all 4 wheels in the right direction. But we'll see you back next week at Martinsville.
Yeah, I'll actually miss the next 2. I'm going out of town for work, so I won't be here. But good luck to Tyler and on trying to sew up the championship, and might be back for the last one. We'll see.
All righty, well, hopefully you can make it, and we'll see you when we see you.
All right, buddy, take it easy.
Nice, man.
Hello.
And that's when I told the doctor I wouldn't eat corn that way anymore.
Always. Yeah.
Good. Wait.
Tiller, we'll start with you then, since you got interesting stories to tell. 7th place tonight for this 23 machine. What was your thoughts on Pocono?
By the grace of God, we finished in 7th. Not to throw anybody under the bus or into another car, but there was a wreck in front of us that just bailed us out. Honestly, it saved the points for us today and kind of stretched the lead out on James a little bit there that we had. So
you're sitting here in the voice chat with the post race, so just let it in a little bit, why don't you?
No, we sucked all day. I'm not even gonna play around or sugarcoat it. I had no right front at the end of any run. It looked like the cheese that the Swiss made. So about all I got.
One way to put it. Jonathan Shorts started 5th, finished 5th. What's your main takeaway here tonight?
My car was junk, so I couldn't get the turn, couldn't get any drive off, but I've avoided that mess with a couple of those guys in front of me, and I finished a lot better than I thought, so it worked out.
Absolutely. Tony Scarbo, one of the ones that was able to avoid that wreck as well. Picked up a couple of free spots there at the end. P6 tonight. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I didn't know how it was going to go there, especially qualified like crap. I thought I was going to qualify a lot better than I did, but yeah, no, I'm happy with that. Can't complain with coming home with 6th.
Absolutely. Landon Quisenberry had a ton of left rear damage. I saw at one point tonight. Where did that come from?
Right after the stage break, be in the back. I'll just say it.
Who do you think
78 sent me on the Jimmy Johnson joyride in turn 1.
Wyatt,
and,
stop hitting people.
No,
I'm not mad at all. I know he's,
He's
I'm not mad at all. I know he's still learning, so
I'll go yell at him for you
eventually.
later. Don't worry about it. I'll handle
No,
it.
it's
No,
all
I'll
good.
handle it.
I was already struggling with the balance, and I'd rather it be like that where I'm running bad and I get run over, where it be like something like a Michigan or a Dover where I'm running up front and get like turned. So, it was a struggle today. And then I got the damage and I struggled with the balance, and the balance is off. And then you start zoning out when you're in the back and you just start running crap laps and you just get pulled away from because you're bored.
The positive feedback. Well, I guess in this negative feedback, they would just keep snowballing.
Yeah, just being bored, and they got bailed out by a caution. So. Didn't hemorrhage too many points and walked away from this place, and hopefully, like I joked earlier, I hope they turn it into a hexagon or something. Just do something different with this track, and they can keep the goofy names. They call it the hectic hexagon instead of the tricky triangle, but
The man some sponsors. He is great
I want to
TV.
hear him say that hectic hexagon like 6 times fast.
Can I interrupt? Just real quick.
No.
We have a 3-way tie for the points.
Oh wow. Also, Landon, real quick, you said that the hexagon or the pentagon or whatever. Well, depending on who you ask, and I really hope I don't hit the wrong one. I think this is what it is.
Pocono has 5 turns.
Pocono has 5 turns, depending on who you ask. So it might be. Yeah.
There you go.
I don't know.
I think my favorite turn at Pocono is turning the hauler out of the racetrack.
So the tunnel turn.
Yeah, you just turn into the tunnel.
There you go.
No, good day overall. We'll move on to Martinsville.
Absolutely. Eric Shields, P9 here tonight for yourself. Kept the car mostly in one piece, and a top 10 for you. Your third one of the season.
I'll take it. I mean, I had a lot of confidence coming in here. I like this track, and I usually run pretty decent, but I was kind of struggling all day, especially at turn 2, and kind of got that figured out. Then I was having issues with turn 3, so got a few free ones at the end. I'll take it. I'm sure it gave me a couple points, but see where we are heading into next week.
Absolutely. And then James Goodwin, rounding out your top 10 here tonight, your 7th top 10 in your 12th start of the season.
Yeah, I had basically no practice on this track, never ran it before, and then this week I was like, oh, I'm going to practice, and every single night something happened. So I ran about 5 laps before tonight, and it was rough at first. Started to figure it out as the race went on, but I mean, it was definitely by no means that competitive. So getting a top 10 out of it, I'll take it.
Absolutely, but we got 2 races left in the round of 12, Martinsville and Talladega, so definitely everything pretty much still up for grabs, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it ends out.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, y'all have a good one.
We'll see you guys. Denny Hamlin sucks.
So Wyatt, we'll start with you. Why do you keep wrecking your competitors?
Why do I keep wrecking what?
Innocent cars. You basically killed Landon Quisenberry. I mean, it's a miracle he's still here with us.
So I got distracted and I drove it in like 80 cars deep. That's not the first time because I almost killed James too.
Oh my goodness.
He also almost killed me and Sam in lap 1.
Well,
it might have been lap 2.
Kyle did say, "Hey Wyatt, I really don't want to do this race, so you can wreck me."
Wyatt, you don't tell him that.
But I didn't.
Unbelievable.
And then, we were riding around in the back by ourselves, like I like to do. And the equipment that Kyle gave me is fault.
Yeah, it's my fault.
And my shifter fell when I was upshifting. So, yeah. And then I was trying to shift it back into gear while the shifter was in my lap, and I was trying to turn the wheel of the car to get off the track. Yeah. So that's fun. So maybe we'll get some bolts on the old shifter for Martinsville.
Kevin Ritchie. Appreciate the
Bumper
insight,
covers to
Wyatt.
collect.
Kevin Ritchie, there's a speed limit on pit road.
There is. My internet also wasn't working. I think I scared James, and then I definitely scared Ryan. My ping went to like 15,000 as I passed him.
Oh, jeez.
So I was like, well, we'll pit early, and then if it doesn't fix itself, then we'll see what happens. But I pit, and then I had a penalty, so I was like, you know what, we're just done. We ain't racing for last. Well, I mean, we are racing for last, but we try not to.
I should have got back out there. I could have got it.
I feel like I had top 5 speed, and then I decided to hit the turn 1 wall pretty good. And I had 20 seconds of damage before the first stage. So that was rough.
All right.
I just got to put a race together, and we might have a top 5.
Hey, more important than this race, the Braves are winning.
No, there we go.
Okay. Anyway.
Love that. Kyle Ritchie, kind of a tale of two halves for you, or two parts, I guess, because stage wasn't at halfway, obviously. First 20 laps just kind of meandered right around the back half of the top 10, even outside the top 10 at points. But once the stage break came and went, then you were flying up to the field and ended up P4 here tonight.
Yeah, I decided I didn't want to qualify this week because I was too lazy to try to run more laps. And I think I should have qualified because I think if I did, I would have just ran 4th the whole race, maybe 5th behind I forget someone. Anyway, I would have been top 5 the whole race. I probably would have got more stage points, but we had more fun starting in the back.
There you go.
Wrong
Who
button.
kicked him? Oh,
Wrong
he
button.
left.
Wrong button.
Oh, jeez.
Are you trying to leave the interview early?
We're in shambles. Well, PTSL is mostly in shambles.
Like I told Michael, TTSL is always in silly season.
Very good. But always a pleasure, fellas. And we'll see you next week at Martinsville.
Okay.
Maybe we'll put a race together.
Probably
What
not. I'm collecting bumper covers.
Wyatt, I am making you race Martinsville.
Well, Wyatt Garrett at Martinsville will feed families. But that'll be it for us here tonight. Us being me. Art took a vacation, but whenever he's allowed once a year, I guess, to do that. Here are tonight's final race results. Everybody fits on the same screen. Pretty handy. 11 cars on the lead lap. Joshua Lawton and Michael Davis caught up in that wreck with coming to 2 laps to go. Kevin Ritchie sped on pit road. Wyatt Garrett, shifter broke. Samuel Demien just ended his night, and Casey Brown. I don't know why it has him on our list. I don't know if he lost power just before or what, but he joined somehow, registered the session somehow, some way, and then lost power. But that is the 16-car field here tonight. Got Martinsville coming up next Tuesday, and Talladega the Tuesday after that to end out the round of 12. And then Friday night rod car this Friday at 9 o'clock as Parker White looks to clinch his championship, his first ever, in the next-gen chassis at Talladega for 75 laps. So we'll see if he can do it. But that'll be the schedule this Friday and then next Tuesday at Martinsville. Hope you all will tune in. Appreciate everyone coming out tonight. And we'll see you on Friday. I'll take care.